So ever since we got Cyberstorm access in the TCG, something has been rubbing me the wrong way. We just got some new broken cards and decks altogether, but I feel like people are not really taking full advantage of them yet. I believe that most players are going into this format with the wrong mindset, and it really shows. Either I see subpar deck building, or kind of bad side decking, or people just playing the wrong deck, or just having the wrong approach to beating X deck. By the way, I am talking from a strictly competitive standpoint, so this doesn't affect like locals, only regionals, YCSs, and nationals. First of all, let's take a look at purely. At the moment, nobody's really agreeing on which discard package to play in their deck, and I do believe that the answer is quite obvious. So first of all, I want to say that the Bridge of Salvation package is really good, and I do like it, but only if people are choosing to play Secret Village, otherwise it completely defeats the purpose of that engine. So right now, I'm seeing a lot of builds that are imitating the OCG, so playing 3 Bridge of Salvation, 1 Cobalt Eagle, and 2 Field Spells, and I really don't like that because there's no Secret Village at all, so they really don't have an edge post game 1. And the purely Field Spell definitely isn't too bad, but if your opponent doesn't have a card like Veiler or Imperm, it ends up doing very little. Whereas Secret Village, on the other hand, is insane because it shuts down Herald of the Abyss and, I don't know, like all the 30 spell cards that purely plays. And it's a very small commitment too. All you have to do is just play 1 copy of Secret Village and you're pretty much always going to be searching it, and then you play 1 Slacker Magician in your extra deck, and that's it. Now, with that being said, I also don't believe that the Dark World engine is any better. It's not that it's bad, but it's not good enough because the Dark World monsters are mandatory effects, which means that they do not allow you to chain block with the effect of your little purely monsters. This opens you up to losing to Gamma for absolutely no reason, and you can actually just play the Shuttle package instead. So first of all, you're trying to play Shuttle Beast, which is basically the exact same thing as Brow, and you're also playing Hedgehog, which is also very similar to Snow. The only difference is that the Shuttle monsters actually allow you to chain block, and the Dark World monsters don't. And with the Shuttle package, you can also play Squamata, which is just really good for extra consistency, but you can also play Shuttle Fusion for breaking boards going second, and the other interesting tech is Nest Shuttle Genius. So when it is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 monster on the field, and, you know, the player cannot activate its effect for the rest of the turn or something like that. So it's actually really good against Expert Noir because it affects the player and not the card. So you can draw like a purely quickly spell card as well as, you know, Hedgehog or let's say Squamata, and you can actually break the board going second just like that without relying on external cards like Herald of the Abyss. And I really do believe that people should not be relying too much on Herald of the Abyss to win, because if they declare, let's say, Dark Fairy to out Expert Noir, their opponent can just chain a quickly spell card to summon Purely Lily, and then it takes the fall instead. So the thing is, people should actually deck build with Expert Noir in consideration and actually have kind of their deck inherently designed to beat it, or have a lot of tech cards to beat it. Now, I'm not going to cut Super Heavy Samurai any slack here because I think those players are also misplaying quite hard. First of all, there's a really important card that people are missing in their extra deck, but I can't really say which one. Maybe if I get 1,000 likes on this video, I might reconsider, but you really have to smash the like and subscribe button. Thank you very much. Anyways, I've actually realized and learned a bunch of things playing that deck and also seeing it in action myself. First of all, I don't understand why people treat Soul Peacemaker as a really bad 1-of, when in reality it's actually really good, and I think it should be closer to a 2 or 3-of. You know, at worst, the card is a 1-card starter when you really have nothing else, and at best, you know, it's just an extra extender that allows you to play through hand traps. And same thing with Regulus, honestly, that card is really, really good, so I think it should actually be closer to a 2-of, and not really a 1-of. And when you're playing 2 Regulus, the second one's really interesting because you can go Special Summon Regulus, equip the Regulus, and then send the equipped Regulus to negate, and then negate after that using the on-field Regulus. So, in other words, in the grind game, 1 Regulus is basically 2 negates. So Regulus is pretty much never really bad. I understand not really being down to play 3, but that's the reason why I say 2 is probably the best compromise. Now let's address the big elephant in the room. Why the hell is every single deck list the exact same? They're literally trying to lose to perform a PAL 5 Rainbow Magician on purpose. Unless there's like a hidden agenda or something where people are trying to make people deck build to beat that deck and then play something completely different, I really don't understand. I'll be straight up honest, I believe that the pure Super Heavy Samurai deck, even though it looks really good, it just has way too many flaws. It's so easy to deck build against a deck that is so predictable because there's really little to explore when you can't play spells and trap cards. So my advice is, stop tunnel visioning and believing that Super Heavy Samurai can only be played as a pure deck, but rather try to see it also as an engine. option. So who knows, maybe you might make something work like Super Heavy Samurai Sprite or maybe Super Heavy Samurai Runic, because the Runic cards never actually stay in the grave. You can always put them back on the bottom of the deck with Fountain and then draw some cards. Definitely a lot to explore with that engine, and people are really not giving it enough credit. In the OCG, the build is completely different because they're playing with the Adamantipator monsters, and that's actually the best build. But of course, in the TCG, the Adamantipator monsters are much worse because Block Dragon is banned. But yeah, the moment Perform a Pal 5 Rainbow Magician is pretty much an FTK against the deck. The one out that I see most players actually choose to go with is Spell Canceller, but that can also kind of be taken care of relatively easily. They will always search Spell Canceller with Clifford Genius and special summon it with Saryuja so that you know when to interrupt them. If you Lava Golem or Spherimo them and then activate 5 Rainbow Magician, the game is completely over for them. Unless they have an IQ of 20 billion and actually hold a Spell Canceller in the hand, then they might actually win, but not everybody is that smart. But yeah, the sheer existence of 5 Rainbow Magician is enough to terrify the Super Heavy Samurai players, even if nobody ends up playing that card. Just because of the fact that it exists, people are absolutely forced to trip out Spell Canceller, post game 1, and because of that, you can actually also take advantage of that. And yeah, people are way too obsessed playing other cards that are just really bad, like Ash, because it literally does nothing against purely Super Heavy Samurai, and it's kind of mediocre against Kashtira as well. Honestly, I want to say it's pretty bad against pretty much every single deck except Despia. If you actually end up playing against Despia and you have Ash, you win the game. But yeah, I just believe that everything we've been seeing from the recent metagame breakdown reports in the TCG are kind of misrepresenting the format that we're about to dive into. I would love to make a follow-up of this video in the future and potentially treat it as like a redundant series, so if you guys are interested, you know what to do, smash the like and subscribe button. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.